guys, Chris here, SVT Garage, and we are with Marco in his 2003 Dark Shadow Gray Cobra. We just finished up the in-car. Apology on that. Apparently GoPros don't like the Florida heat, and it shut off on me. And this is the new Hero Max, so up there in the windshield it just kind of went off, so we do apologize. But here's Marco in his car. We're gonna do a little walk around here in a minute, talk to him, and Marco,
yes, sir.
Kind of recapping here, because when the GoPro shut off, this is your third?
Yeah, so my third Cobra. First one was bought back in 2012. It was silver metallic, convertible. They've all been convertibles. Then I had a 10th anniversary black convertible. And then now this guy, and I'm hoping this one stays with me forever. I got this out of North Carolina. Believe it or not, you guys are probably gonna give me shit for this, but I bought it sight unseen, meaning not in person.
Yeah.
Got video, did the Carfax, the whole nine, but I just didn't want to lose it, and had it shipped over, and I was not disappointed. Obviously, I did a lot of stuff to it. We talked a little bit about that in the car, but yeah, I'm definitely a happy camper.
So what year was that you had? What year did you get this?
This I've had I got this in 2022, like early, so it's going on 2 years.
Okay.
For this
so you
one.
kind of were at that peak of buying these.
Yeah, I definitely paid on the high side.
Well, which is average now.
Yeah.
So high
exactly.
then.
Correct. Yeah.
Average now,
Yeah.
because I don't. People say, oh, they're going to come down, and I don't see it, because a new car, they say, oh, you can buy a new Coyote for $35. This isn't a Coyote.
Right.
A clean Fox is 15 to 20,000.
Yeah.
So I don't see this. The 96. I'm sorry, the 94 to 98s, even the 99 Cobras, I can see them teetering a little bit.
Yeah.
The Foxes, the Cobras, and some of the Shelbys, like the 07, 08. I can see those ones fluctuating, but the 03, 04s, I'm again being biased because these are my favorite Mustangs. But I don't see them dropping drastically like they were 2000 and I don't know 11, yeah. 2012.
Yeah.
You could pick up a super clean one for mid-20s, or low high teens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mid-20s. Sonic Blue or a Mystic. I sold a Mystic with 12,000 miles in 2012 or 13 for $26,500.
Wow.
Had 12,000 miles on it, and that was. It took me a minute to sell it. Yeah. It wasn't like it was, gone in a week, and then the guy was trying to barter with me. I'm sorry, I had it up for 30, and we met kind of in the middle somewhere around that 26, 27. So, yeah, so that's, imagine that car today. Yeah. I just don't see them dropping like that.
No, I mean,
they're getting harder to find, yeah.
Right, this is one of, I think, 441 in this color combo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, when you're talking about a numbered car, I mean, between that and just the cult following, I mean, there's a book written about the car. I had the book.
Lead foot, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Iron Fist, lead foot.
Exactly. It's iconic, and everywhere I go, I turn heads. People ask me about it, don't know about it. People that do know about it want to interview me about it.
Yeah.
The car's just it was ahead of its time. And it's going to have hiccups along the way based on the economy, but generally speaking, I think it's going to go up steadily, just because the older it gets, the rarer it becomes, and the more demand there's going to be.
Yeah, so older the car gets, like you compare it to a 69, 70 fastback, whatever, 67. You can't touch a crappy one for 15,000.
Right.
One that's completely redone is, I mean, some of them pulling six figures.
Yeah.
High 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
Again, these cars were way ahead of their time. Yeah, they're not. The Coyote's a great platform. I love the Coyotes. I really, really love these.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy, I don't know, can't even plug him because I don't know his name, but on some of you may have seen him on YouTube. He's got a Mystic convertible that's got a big stock long block. It's got a big turbo on it. He's made 1,100 through it to the tire. And then the interview guy goes, so what all's done? He goes, what's done to the block? He goes, no, the long block is untouched.
Untouched.
And he goes, oil pump anything? And he's like, nope, stock head, stock everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that cast iron block, I don't know if we can do that with a Coyote. I'm not sure they can do that with, but point is, it's an 03 platform running 1100 to the tire. I mean, that's just unheard of.
Now, supercharged, I feel like that's a little different than the turbo.
Yes, I agree.
So that might be helping that out.
Sure.
But, these cars are, again, they're just... If you guys don't have one, if you guys even do have one, chime in. If you don't have one, and you're looking at them, you watch these videos to, like, keep yourself inspired. I don't know how many videos I watched before I got my hands on one. And I was telling him, the first one I bought was a 03 silver metallic convertible. I didn't want a convertible, I wanted a coupe, but I loved the convertible after I owned it. It had fiberglass fenders. It had these Z3 fenders. It had a saline body kit that was all fiberglass. Had a Cobra, 2000 Cobra R hood. It had a saline wing. Like, it took me like 3 years to save up to get all the parts to put it back to a Cobra and get it painted, because it was a red bumper, sonic blue side skirts, yellow rear bumper. I think I did find the wing and then the silver. The hood was like yellow. It looked like a Skittle going down the road, but I was like, that's my Skittle.
Right.
And I watched a million videos to I was motivated every day. And I bought mine in 09 in Miami.
Oh, okay.
I drove like 4 hours, sight unseen, deposit. I was like, you know what, 18,000, had low miles, and I bought it. I brought it home, and it was my little project.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to compare these to a Coyote. It's hard to compare the older stuff to even these cars, and it's hard to compare the Fox to, the prices are going to do what they are. And again, I think if you guys can get your hands on one now, it's the time to do it for sure.
Definitely, because if the longer they really are just going to go up.
Because you sold you told me when we were driving, you sold your anniversary black convertible because you were worried about what the market, not on the car end, just in general, was going to do.
For financial reasons, I got panicked, and ironically, I sold. I mean, it didn't have it had a factory blower, and it had some nice modifications, made 485 of the tire.
Yeah.
Clean, 20,000 mile, 10th anniversary. Sold it for $27,500.
That's crazy.
I paid more than that for this one, and when it had more miles. But it is what it is, and I'm thrilled. I mean, I've been a Mustang guy since. I'm 50 years old, and when this came out, I was like 30.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it instantly. Back in high school, 90, 91, we had, the notchback 5.0s all the time. We were bragging about how they were, state trooper vehicles and racing around then, and been, never looked back. I've always been a...
You showing your age a little bit?
Little bit.
I graduated in 03.
Okay.
And I remember these things back when I was in high school. It was like, I worked at a Ford dealership as a lot porter. And I remember one came in on trade, and I was like, "Oh, dude!" I got to take it out and put some fuel in it because my job was putting them on the lot and making sure they were all fueled up. And I was like, "I got this one." Grab the key. And I remember driving that thing. I was like, and I had my Fox at the time. I was like, "This thing is crazy."
Yeah, it was a big jump. Plus, they were underrated. They probably have 430 stock. They're talking about 390.
390.
Easily 430.
So this is your car, right?
This is it, man. The only thing I want to do next is it doesn't have long tubes. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
I want to get the X pipe on it, and then I want to re-dyno it with VMP. I'm gonna even if I have to trailer it to VMP.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the phone with them, and they said all day you're over 700 with the right tune.
For sure, yeah. You got you said the 4-pound lower.
Yeah.
You got the upper pulley.
It's a 2.8, so it's smaller than the 3. I have a buddy making 717 on the 3.
But like we said before. Nothing against him, nothing against Ramsey. He's conservative. Your car's safe.
Exactly. No complaints.
And if you're talking about 40, 50 horse, right?
Yeah.
Take it down to VMP. Let them mess with it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they know what they're doing down there too. They're Florida.
Exactly.
It's a couple hour drive for us. We're up in the Tampa Clearwater area, so I don't know. How far is that? 3 hours for us?
Not
3.5?
even.
Yeah.
Probably good 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think I GPS'd it from my house.
I would trailer it down just in case. And just have them freshen up the tune.
Yeah.
Dude. So, real quick on the mods, you got the
The 2.8 upper.
2.8 upper. Bumps the VMP. What size?
So it's a 2.3 VMP with the 2.8 upper, a 4-pound lower. It's got the GT500 throttle body.
Okay.
The JLT intake, and again the off-road X or H. Bassani. And you know, like I said, I was telling Chris, everything was serviced. Like when I got it, I mean, whether it was done or not, I didn't know. I just did the diff, I did the tranny, I did everything. Obviously, I need 85 and change the oil more often. The 90-pound injectors, the MGW shifter, Spec 3 Plus. Chris got in there and felt the pedal. It's
fantastic.
Like butter.
Yeah, that thing is. I gotta get that done to mine. Mine is stupid on your foot. Heat exchanger. What do you got up there?
So that's the Fluidine.
That's the Fluidine. Okay, it looks good. It looks different than mine.
Does.
I got the LFP.
I used to have the LFPs, and I decided to go with that look.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
looks
look like
good.
fangs from, you know, from when you're way out front. They kind of look like two little fangs.
Yeah.
I did upgrade to the GT500 pump. I mean, I don't know if it's doing much, but it needed a pump, so I went that route.
Yeah.
And you know, I did go to Bradenton. I am a track guy. I do run the cars at the quarter mile. It was 90 degrees, and I was the 60 foot was terrible, but I did run 11.4. I think it's got high tens in it the way it sits all day. If I could just go back when it's cold and get the 60 foot down a little better.
Cold, but you need, I think, the tire too.
Yeah, definitely.
You either really got to drop some tire pressure or just do a whole different tire for the track, because you know these street drag radials are
they're hit and miss over there.
Yeah, they're not going to stick like a nice you know traditional drag tire would, but you know do like a like some guys do. They do, well, no, I was gonna say do like a 15-inch with a nice sidewall.
Bias ply.
Those guys are running a nice time. 10s.
Oh yeah, the 60 foot there is, that's where it's at.
That's where you
don't
know,
break stuff. I've broken axles with drag radials already, and I said now my 60 foot's like 1.8 at best because I kind of grain it off the line not to break anything. But that's probably what I'll do. Get a 15-inch weld or something and
put a nice sidewall on there, and you know get to. You know, and I think these cars look killer with that.
They do.
That look. I mean, I'm jealous of some of the other guys that run that weld look.
It's a nice.
It looks. My brother's got that on his Coyote. It's pretty dope. All right, cool. Let's. Before we get to that, but out of the three that you've had, or you could have, what color is this? Is this it for you? You like the dark shadow gray, or what's your favorite color?
You know, so I like metallic paint, and when I got the silver metallic, I kind of, with my buddies were kind of like, that's the everybody's silver car kind of color, and I was like, yeah, but you know, it's a Cobra. It grew on me, and then when I went the black on the 10th anniversary, the black was gorgeous, black on black on black with the red inside and all that, but it was so hard to take care of, and when the sun hit it, it didn't glisten like the metallic does.
Yeah.
It was just so hard to keep clean. So once we got rid of it. I always wanted DSG, and when I got it, I wasn't disappointed. You know, once it was ceramic coated, paint corrected, and the sun hit it, it's such a beautiful color. And with black on the contrast with black, it's probably my favorite. So I'm
it looks good in the shade right now. Guys, we're in the shade because it's hot. We'd be melting if we were just sitting in the sun doing this. It's absorbing that darkness right now, so it's hard to see just how crisp and bright your car is.
Yeah.
But in the sun in my driveway, we'll go back there and get a picture. You know, that'll be the thumbnail. But it's pretty, dude.
Yeah,
it's a good looking color. I've always been a huge fan of the dark shadow gray. So cool, man. Well, let's pop the hood.
Let's
do a walk around. And one thing I noticed that's different is your snake.
Yeah, oversized. So ironically, I've done that in the past, but the guy did it already. That's another thing that came with the car.
Okay, so that was done with him.
Yeah.
Cool. It's just a little larger than.
I think it's the GT500.
It is a GT500. So, I actually made a bracket for mine because I'm running the horse now, but I made a bracket to fit up here in the corner with like the GT500.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I like it. I was switching back and forth. It was different, but cool. Take us around this thing, man.
So.
You got I call them Rovos because they look like the Rovos.
Well, yeah,
but
that's the idea. Again, that was the previous owners. Would I have put them on personally? No, but I do like them. I prefer a deep dish wheel, but this is definitely nice. Goes with the car.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't give him credit for. He had the vented and slotted drilled rotors on there already.
Right.
Painted calipers. Previous owner gets credit for that. I tinted the windows.
He took care of the car.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely. Matter of fact, it was being sold on consignment from at a one of those toy store dealerships that were selling Ferraris and Porsches.
Okay.
And the guy didn't want to budge. And when I said, "What's the deal?" The guy didn't want to budge on the price. He goes, "You want to know something, man?" He's like, he goes, he really doesn't want to sell it. That's why he's at top dollar, and that's where he's at.
Oh.
So I just said,
so you were going back and forth with that dealership that was like consignment based.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good, dude. The wheels do look nice. Again, I do think the deep dish. You guys can just see how crisp this paint is on this car. It looks good. The deep dish does do like really good justice on this body, but these wheels.
Yeah, they're kind of concave in the back,
yeah.
So from some angles it gives you that impression of the lip.
Yep. So let's pop the hood and take a look at this thing. Again, guys, we were looking for some shade because it was so hot in my driveway this time of day. It's just baking in the sun, so we found this little kind of like alley over here and said, screw it, let's do it. You know what? I never noticed the radiator cover on yours. Looks good.
Got it from a Lanier Metal.
They did a good job on that too.
So that's the single overflow radiator.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have the same problem. None of the caps are like airtight all the time. You get a little burpage once in a blue moon. Everyone I talk to is like, mine does the same thing. Mine does the same thing. And I just deal with it. I didn't, you know, should have wiped it down before I showed you. But.
Nah, dude, you can't. This thing's clean. And I didn't know that these were factory.
You know what? I didn't know either.
I've had 4 Cobras and none of them had that. So that threw me off when the other day you guys were talking about it. And I'm like, wait, what? Those are factory?
Yeah, and they don't fit over aftermarket plates. So
no. Yeah, I do have the aftermarket. I got the Maxim, yeah. I got the Maxims. So, damn, dude, it's clean. It's nice. Did you buy that charger new?
No, I got it used.
Oh,
got
cool.
a good deal on that.
It's in good shape. It wasn't all.
Yeah.
Sucks when you see them scratched up, dinged up, because it's kind of hard to. You can't really correct those or paint match them because it's almost like that textured material. Oh, so here too, I noticed you still got these on here.
Yeah.
I was getting, the factory vents have this flap, right? And you can actually unflaps here. I was getting so much heat retention in mine that it was like boiling the fuel. Not boiling, it was cooking it.
Oh, that's right.
That's the issue I was having when we were trying to road test the car. And then when I took out the vent completely and just left this open, car ran perfect.
You know what I might do? I used to do it for when I do wash it now and then, and it, you know, the water, but I'm just gonna go ahead and probably remove them.
Yeah, I mean the billet ones and then the track spec make them, and it helps, you know, just getting that heat out of the hood. But this guy's is super nice, real clean. You do got the light bar in the back. Mine was just a solid one. It didn't have my silver car didn't have the light in it. My finances, I had to get the cheaper one, but it still looked good.
Yeah, it looks great at night when you got the top down.
Yeah, looks good. You got the nice gauges in here.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't give the previous owner credit for. That was already there. Yeah. I mean, I put the gauges.
And then these are nice because they don't. This guy stopped making them, right?
Right. So, I love the pod. He had some analog gauges. I put the air fuel and the.
Let's give you guys an idea. It's kind of factory looking in here, minus the 2 gauges here. But for the most part, it's just a good-looking, clean car. No, even the for having almost 100,000 miles, even the side bolster on the driver's side looks good. So you definitely take care of this thing, man. Like I said, I'm glad that this didn't have to go up for sale, or it went up for sale. I'm glad it didn't sell.
Exactly.
So cool, man. Well, I do appreciate you coming out here and doing this.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Guys, like, subscribe. As I always say, you know, message me your thoughts, you know, anything else you guys want to see, another car you guys want us to go a little more in depth on. That's what we're here for. Just, you know, message. And if you guys are in the area and you, same thing, want the car maybe put on the channel, let me know. We'll figure something out. But SVT Garage, and appreciate your guys' time as always. So thanks for the love. mean, all these guys' cars are clean, but this one here is exceptionally clean. Takes very good care of it. We just got finished doing some of the driving clips, so those will be in this video, and the interview, the walk around, we're gonna get all that done today. He drove about 45 minutes to come here and kind of show you guys his car. So this is Marco. This is a VMP car.
Yeah.
The Gen 3R?
2.3.
To 2.3, okay. E85 factory manifolds. The exhaust clip, if you guys are wondering, it's the factory manifolds H-pipe with the boreless.
No, the Bassani.
Bassani's, I'm sorry, Bassani's. And sounds really healthy, sounds good. You know, most of the guys are running X's, so if you guys are on the fence of doing X-pipe, H-pipe, here's a good comparison. The car sounds phenomenal. We did some revs on the exhaust clips, and then we did a couple pulls. Hopefully that, if you're on the fence of how you want to set your exhaust up, you know, you can obviously use this to kind of narrow that down a little bit. But healthy, man. It moves, it pulls. Very impressed with the car. I've had 2 convertibles myself, and both of them were stock Eaton, so I didn't get this far with it, but very impressed with it.
Yeah, I mean, Ramsey's tuned it. It's on a conservative tune, but it runs, you know, in traffic, it's like stock.
Yep. It's driving great right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's well behaved in that respect, and when you get on it, it's definitely does its thing.
E85, right?
Yeah, with the 4 Innovations fuel system.
So you can get the 4 setup, the return.
Yeah.
Injectors, do you know what?
Yeah, 90-pound Deech works.
The Deech works, okay. And what PSI are you hitting? How many pounds you putting out?
He said 23.
Okay, so I mean that's a pretty solid number.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
It was just you know, it's getting a little heat soak. Here we are in Florida, 90-something degrees.
Yeah.
But other than that,
you got it. I remember I bumped into you at Ramsey's.
Yeah.
Because I think I was dropping parts off to my car at the time. You were there doing something with this. Was that finishing the tune, or
that was when I first had him do the VMP, but I wasn't on the 85, no fuel system or anything yet.
Okay.
That one made 560 conservative, so and I was getting a little belt slip, so I went back to the 4 pound lower.
That's right, you did tell me that. Yep.
And then the whole fuel system and everything, and said just throw everything at it, and
so you did it right.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to make sure it was done right, and I knew Ramsey's was pretty conservative, but again, I don't mind that. You know, some people lean too hard on the cars, and we've all heard, you know,
horror stories. Yeah, so. And some of the stories are, you know, unfortunate. Where not saying anything bad about other tuners. We know Ramsey. He's done just about everyone's car in the crew. Yeah. He's on the conservative end, and that's. I mean, I even him with being conservative with mine, timing, and all that. You know, I'm like 760, 780 at the tire. Yeah. And that's on a hot day like this. So I mean, mine was tuned in the dead of summer, mid-afternoon. You know, fans on, of course, but you know, it's gonna affect, you know, the end number. You know, obviously, you know, just this thing sucking in all that heat, but cars are good. The cars are running healthy. They're running strong.
Yep.
This thing here for sure, it's impressive. Little spin when you guys have seen the video, spun a little bit, but tires are the Mickey Thompsons.
Mickey Thompson ET Streets, yeah. I mean, when they're real new, they definitely do better. Yeah. There's only a couple thousand miles on them, but you know, I played with the PSI, and it seemed to land around 23 for the street, and we got them a little warm. They hooked up a minute ago.
That second run we did.
Yeah.
It spun, but came back real quick. The first time we did it, you could feel it, you know, kind of spin through that pull until you kind of backed off. But it is hot today. Today's a typical Florida summer day. It's low 90s, mid 90s right now. So the roads are hot, and he's still, you know, the tires did break loose pretty decent. second run a lot better. And we'll do the walk around. Car sits nice. It's got the Rovos on it, right?
They're SVE. They're kind of like a Rovo.
They look like the Rovo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
All right. It really does. All right. So you get the SVE wheels, and the tire size like 315s or 305.
305, 35 in the back.
Same. Okay. Same thing I run. And car's just exceptionally clean. We were fighting for you to keep this thing because unfortunately some of, like, I guess a lot of us, you know, life happens, stuff happens, and this was possibly gonna have to be for, you know, it was for sale, but
yeah,
didn't
briefly.
sell.
Yeah, no.
Very briefly pulled it down, got to keep it. So I just want to say I'm happy that worked out for you in that aspect, because these are getting harder to get your hands on.
Yeah,
they really are, especially ones this nice.
Thanks. Yeah, this is my third one. Every time I sold, I regretted it instantly. And when I got this one, I said, you know, no matter what, I'm not going to sell it. Of course, life happened, and but I took a step back and just said, you know what? If I get rid of this, I got to start all over. I'm going to end up getting another one. I'm going to probably overpay. I'm going to just, you know, it'll just be a mistake. So I'm doing everything in my power to just keep
to hold on to it.
Yeah,
so I'm glad that, again, that's working out.
Yeah.
Because again, how many miles in this?
Just turned 90,000.
90,000. This thing looks like it has 29,000 on it. It's nice. It looks as clean as the black one I sold. That was a very low mile car.
Yeah, it's you know, it's been paint corrected, ceramic coated. It's definitely, I'm kind of just like we all are, a freak about detailing it. And as far as the stance, it's H&R Sport with no isolators in the front and just the bottom isolators in the back. I got some of the bushings done in the back, not all of them, but it's got a diff brace. The front's got all the energy suspension, polyurethane.
Subframes or no?
Yeah, because it's convertible. It's got the stock ones.
Stock ones, okay.
Which it's funny, he ran the line for the fuel system right through the subframe connectors.
Okay.
Yeah, which worked out.
Do they make because I know mine are kind of wide on my car. Are these just pretty narrow? Can you benefit from putting the?
Probably could benefit a little.
But these are pretty stiff.
They do. Yeah, they do the job.
Yeah. I had the two. Like I said, two of my cars were convertibles, and
did you upgrade the? Or no?
I did, and I left them. You know, just because they're there. I just didn't know on this what your future plans were with that. The motor looks great. You have the expansion tanks.
Yeah. Well, long story short, I got I had the 2-in-1, but it was getting heat transfer, so I went with the just the overflow side, and then I kept the stock supercharger tank plastic so it doesn't get warm, and I plastic dipped it black, so it looks. Yeah. The valve covers are powder coated forward blue. You guys will see under there, obviously, and that was done from the previous owner, by the way, which I liked. The only thing the car had when I bought it was it did have the rims, it had the the light bar.
Light bar, yeah. Is it the actual light bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is light bar. Okay.
And what else did we have? We had the MGW shifter. Okay. But I have a Spec 3 Plus in here with soft pedal option, which he's going to try because he doesn't have the soft pedal.
Yeah, I don't have the soft pedal. Mine is
and am I going right?
Yeah, go left. I'm sorry. Yeah. So back to expansion tanks, guys. I know everybody likes the more coolant option. You can put ice in the bigger ones, cool it down. I sold mine. You had the 2-in-1, so the actual the one long one, but it was both of them together.
Right.
And like you said, you were getting the heat transfer from both the fluids, right?
Yep.
I sold mine after I went back to supercharged. Sold the turbo stuff. So I only had the overflow for the coolant, but then when I did that radiator, I deleted that. That was the whole point of the radiator. So I got rid of the tanks, and then when I went back to being supercharged, I went specifically with the factory plastic one because of how hot those metal ones got. And I'm like, that's got to be transferred to the fluids. It has to be. And the plastic one holds less liquid, but again, just as my opinion, you can touch it and not fry your hand.
Absolutely.
So I wish there was somebody who made that factory looking one, maybe double the size.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The newer ones on the Coyote cars, you know, that plastic tank, is a good size. It's a little smaller than, or it looks a little better than the Cobra stock one, the overflow cooler. I just wish they made ours plastic one, like double the size, but resemble. Because I don't know, could be wrong. I could be talking out my ass, but
No,
I just feel like those metal ones get way too hot,
yeah, agreed.
and it does. It has to just transfer to that fluid. But I just want to say, Margo, man, this is a cool car, dude. I like it. He's part of our little group. I don't know. I don't keep track. 7 or 8 of us.
Something like that, yeah.
In the group, we all keep in contact pretty much every single day through Facebook. So shout out to you guys.